Hi everybody. This episode we'll be looking at this. This was originally made to be the remote control for the butler for Loxana Troy. You know, the big, really tall, gray looking guy. And this was actually made for him. It was a remote control to open and close a closet. This was made, this part here was a found object without this disc in it. This was actually a part of a radiation tubing aerospace for radar signals. This is a piece of acrylic that was stuck into it. Now this particular piece here that you're seeing, this is actually a casting of that original piece, because we ended up using this piece on quite a few different things, just as like tubes that would go on some pieces. This piece here and all of these little ones here, that's a piece of silicone, however old that is. These were, all of these pieces here and this one was made by Max Cervantes for that episode. So these pieces here go into these little recesses here inside of these little forks. Then when these pieces are put together, one of these discs goes on this side to help cover up the seam, and then the other one goes on the other side to cover up the seam, which also acted as the push button to activate it. Now we ended up using this particular prop multiple times on multiple shows. At one point we actually ended up hollowing out the back here, and this is, by the way, this is all machined acrylic. This whole body piece here is all one big piece until you get into the crevices right here, which that's Bondo put in there so they could actually, put the other detail in. These three slots here were machined in by hand, and as I was saying, when we hollowed out the ones for the specific episodes, there were white LEDs behind those that would flash very quickly, like it was doing something when you pushed the button, because we actually drilled through that and put an actual button inside of that. Now later on, like I said, we've used this multiple times on different shows. So later on Voyager, we ended up using it like this. We ended up using it with, I'll bring this piece in now, like this. These tabs actually fit into the hollow point here. So one of them was basically like that. And I believe it was all like a ruddy brown red, and we had a graphic in there. Then later on, they decided that they wanted to use this same prop, but change it. So we did these in opaque resin, and this was done in a translucent resin, which ended up glowing green with some green, super bright green LEDs in there. And I believe instead of having a graphic in the window here, if I'm remembering correctly, we ended up putting a cast jewel-like thing in there with a graphic under it, but it was you really couldn't really see it too well. And it was hung like a necklace on these like monks or something like that. Once again, I can't say that I've seen all the episodes of Voyager, among other things, but at the same time, there it is. This particular piece is actually constructed out of wren shape. You've heard me talk about that before. It's a tooling material. So basically we cut the piece out so it kind of fits in there. You know, this kind of matches up there, and I believe we still probably used some of these pieces in there, but I don't remember at the moment. So this was made, this piece here was made by Steve Horch, who is now deceased. He was part of my my company, my business, and this piece is one of his creations. Like I said before, this side is Max. This was altered by Max, but basically this is a found part. And then of course all of these. Now these parts here, let's see if you can see it better there. Okay, that piece there, I don't recall whether Max sculpted that or whether it was a found piece that we altered. These pieces here I know we turned on the lathe. And this piece here is something that Max created the base for. And then this ring right here was a leftover from a previous project. Let it focus in on that. That we, you know, it's a detail piece, so we just stuck it on there. Max is always innovating. This was, once again, this is not something, I believe this was an idea of Rick Sternbach's, but we went beyond some of that only because, well, you know, we found this part and it was like, ooh, that'll be a cool part instead of having to custom make something all over again. And it has a really good look to it. So, you guys know the episodes more than I do, so please put the episodes down in the comments section so that everybody will know what I'm talking about. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you feel so inclined, please become a patron. Thank you.